We're now approaching that time of year, December, January, where unfortunately a lot of businesses who have found it a struggle for the past 12 months decide to hand back the keys to the business, close the doors for the final time, switch those lights off. And it has a huge impact on the companies which have been supplying them or been using them as their supplier. So the reason why I bring this up is now is the time, if you don't already, is to put in place a aged debtor process. Some of you may not know what an aged debtor is. An aged debtor is someone you have invoiced for services, but they haven't paid you. So they owe you money. So these are your outstanding invoices. So most of you will be using digital account systems now like Xero or QuickBooks. I want to talk you through what happened to me some years ago and what I did in the end. So when September the 11th happened, my business supplied airlines and cruise ships with food and beverage. And one of our clients supplied or carried a lot of the oil rig workers out to the countries, and then helicopters would fly the oil rig workers out to the rigs. So the airline that we were working with, they flew out the oil rig workers dry because they're not allowed to drink. But when they came back, they drank like crazy. And we used to supply them with soft drinks and alcohol. So it was a big client of ours. September the 11th happened, and we thought we were doomed because obviously with aeroplanes crashing into the Twin Towers, our business was going to be in quite a lot of difficulty. In fact, it had the opposite effect, and our business grew because security clearance at the airports increased. So people going through VIP lounges, first class lounges, business class lounges were in those facilities longer because they needed longer to get through security, which meant that they were eating and drinking more, which meant that our business increased. But what we didn't realise was that the airline that we were supplying had some financial challenges. They hadn't been paying us on time. They'd paid us late consistently, but they'd been consistently late and consistent with the payment. So therefore, we weren't too worried until September the 11th happened. And then we had a check from the airline, £80,000, which we'd banked. And because there was some banking timing difference between the Bank of England and Bank of Scotland, I think it's 1 hour difference. Bank of Scotland bounced the check on us. It was an hour and a half away from being cleared. And they bounced the check on us, although the airline had the money in the business, because they saw that the business was a risk. And I think they had first charge over the assets. So we got hit with an £80,000 debt in year 3 of our business. What we decided to do after this bad debt was put in a process where we would catch any debts way before they were due and make sure people were paying us on time. So what we did, we implemented a system whereby we were on top of our accounts daily. And we implemented a system where as soon as the goods were dispatched from the building they were invoiced for, we would get the signed delivery note back for the goods the same day. We would check whether anything was signed for as missing or damaged. We would reach out after 48 hours and ask them, was everything okay? Although we'd already got a signed delivery note. We'd then have a response back saying everything was fine. 2 weeks after the invoice was raised, we had a diary note to email the client asking, was there any reason why our invoice wouldn't be on the payment run for the end of the month? We offered 30 days credit. And again, we get a response back saying yes or no. If it was a yes, We'd understand what the challenge was, what we needed to do to fix it, and we could dispute it over the next 2 weeks until the payment due date. We would then, a week before the payment was due, we would send them another email and ask them, is the payment on the payment run for the end of the month? And again, 99% of the time, the answer was yes. The 1% time when it wasn't, we understood the reasoning behind why they were not going to pay. And then we would make a decision on what action we wanted to take. This action of putting this strategy in place reduced our risk and improved our cash flow no end. So whilst you're sat at home over the Christmas period thinking about how you can improve things for 2025, I would highly recommend implementing a strategy for your business. Now, what I'm saying that we did might be overkill for your business, or you might need to put more actions in there, more interaction. I would urge you to put a communication strategy in place for collecting your aged debtors, your outstanding invoices. I'd love to hear back from you after you've implemented this strategy and communication system, what impact that's had on your business.